Okay, before you see the humongous Sea of Thieves update video, all the PvP changes and stuff, check out my Twitch. We're almost to 70 followers. I'd love to hit 100 by the end of the year. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but every one of you that clicks that follow button gets us one step closer to that goal. Go check it out. Link is in the description. You don't have to search anything up. Just go down there, click it, click follow, and you'll see more banger content by me in the future. All right, I'm done. Go enjoy the rest of the video, all right? Peace. Yay!
So Season 8 has launched. We're incredibly happy with how it's launched, and we're loving watching stories of players engage in this PvP on demand. But with the amount of players we're seeing go through this flow, there are a couple of things we noticed that could be tweaked to further improve the experience for all crews of all sizes and skill levels. Players have been using blunder bombs quite a lot as part of the PvP flow that we introduced in Season 8, but we noticed they're being used a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So we want to kind of limit the amount that players can find. So we fixed a couple of exploits within some of the tall tales that were given away.
Big problem. Was a huge problem, actually. Unfortunately, yeah, you could basically just get infinite blunder bombs from like the new Pirates of the Caribbean ones because that's fucking supply bugs or whatever.
Slightly reduced the amount of blunder bombs that players will find around the world.
Slightly.
And we've also slightly reduced the amount of blunder bombs that you get in a tactical captaincy restock of your ship. And then the other direction that we approach blunder bombs from is that they are a little bit more effective than we perhaps wanted them to be.
The fucking range
especially now that
and
we're seeing them
knockback is
used in
insane.
such high numbers. So we've slightly adjusted the balance to sort of bring them more in line with their thrown versions. So the area of effect of a blunder bomb fired out of a cannon, that was 10 meters,
which is like across a fucking sloop, to be clear.
Which is massive, versus the thrown version, which only has an area of effect of 5 meters.
Which is still pretty big when you consider on a
same,
sloop.
so
I don't know how big a meter is in game, but I mean, like,
whether it's fired
it's
or
a nerf,
thrown, it will
but
now
for
have an area
sure.
of effect
But
of
it won't be
5
like fucking
meters.
blunder bomb spam.
And we have also dramatically reduced the vertical impulse that we apply to a player when they're hit by a blunder bomb, which
because you'll get jettisoned off into fucking space
useful,
otherwise.
But also reduces the likelihood of entire crews being popcorned off their ship. So with crews engaging in constant battles across the Sea of Thieves at the moment, resources are obviously in high demand. If you're going to win a battle, it stands to reason that you'll need plenty of cannonballs and plenty of wood. We want to make sure that players have more than enough resources to enjoy battles and to kind of reduce the amount of time that players feel they have to spend restocking their ships between battles.
Because they've already nerfed curse cannonballs, and that means they're nerfing blunder bombs, which, you know, whatever. I didn't have a huge problem with either.
Approach this from a number of directions. The first one is that sunk ships will now jettison their wood, food, and cannonball barrels. So once a ship is fully sunk...
That's fucking crazy. What? Wait, wait,
those barrels will float up to the surface.
Is it all the food?
They'll still contain all of the resources.
That's fucking crazy. You're gonna have like galleons that are on a streak of like 100 with the most fucking stacked supplies you've ever seen in the entire game. Amazing, beautiful, and now there's no more spawn camping.
Keeping in them previously,
right? Because you can just fucking dumpster them really quick.
Either that crew to rescue a couple of supplies before they get taken away, or for
the
victorious crew to kind of snatch those barrels up, restock themselves before diving into the fight and getting away again. It basically helps kind of
it'll keep it in like a flow, especially if everything's categorized to barrels. You have a brig versus brig sinks brig, they juice off their supplies and they're able to just fucking go to the next fight without like very little downtime.
Process, and also eliminates the need for crews to sort of spawn camp each other whilst they're siphoning off resources.
Yeah, see, I remember.
We've also looked at the level of resources that ships start with, both at the start of a session and once they're sunk and respawned.
They're buffing
all
resource.
Ships will now have considerably more cannonballs and a larger...
He didn't say a number or like a multiplier on the cannonballs, so I'm assuming it's not like he said considerably more, probably like double, 1.5 times, you know.
Supply
that's
of
crazy.
Wood ready for the fight. And we've also added coconuts to all crews' food barrels, so that you've got a higher value health resource there if you do take any damage during a battle. Also,
coconutties. It's sort of like you get like arena level supplies.
Representing either of our new factions sinks, they will now respawn at an outpost.
They're gonna have to nerf the supplies again. I hate to start piling it, but
at one of our islands.
That's alright.
This was done with a view to making it much easier. Presenting either of our new factions sinks, they will now respawn at an outpost.
So you can reload up
at one of our islands.
Because
this was done with a view to making it much easier to restock your ship. Obviously, outposts have a ton of barrels and the merchant stocks that you can purchase, and it also makes it much easier for crews to
whoever made these decisions actually listen to the fucking community for one time in their lives.
Into the flow of the session much quicker. In addition, we've also seen a few players come across an exploit, or using this exploit, that you can engage in a battle whilst near areas of Red Sea and kind of lure enemy crews into.
I didn't run into this myself, but I saw a lot of things.
This is particularly prevalent around the Shores of Gold. We've now fixed the exploit with the Red Sea around the Shores of Gold, so that you won't be able to get into a battle there. No crew can invade you there. You can't invade another crew there, which means that battles will now take place in purely fair arenas. So
which means the edge of the map, but like the top edge, but at least it doesn't fucking include the Shores of Gold anymore, you know?
It's been plugged. Stop it. We've made a ton of these changes. We're really pleased with these changes.
And this is all on top of the balance changes they made for queuing. So queuing is going to be better. You're going to be able to queue with more people for like a little bit larger area, I think. You're going to be able to get faster queue times because you're going to be queuing against ships of your own faction. So you won't get stuck with like a 30-minute queue time. You're probably pretty much insta-queue most of the time. I don't know when these changes come in. He'll probably say. Actually, I'll just let the video play.
Fairer experience for players when they release later this month. It's certainly not the end of us looking at the experience. We'll be constantly evaluating what goes on as these changes land. And rest assured, we'll be making more changes to keep the experience fun for everyone going forwards.
Okay. So later this month, probably, honestly.